Hey folks, Aaron here. Welcome back to my anime review. Today we're looking at episode 2 of Steins Gate Zero. Oh man, this here is gonna kill my heart. Like legitimately, I think it's going to kill me a little bit watching this because I think many of you guys already know, but I played the visual novel. I did most of the endings. I didn't do certain endings specifically to avoid like destroying the whole thing because I know the show was coming out and I was like, you know what, I could kind of wait. But I got to like every ending route, so I can actually just go through them and just read them if I really wanted to at any point. But the same token, I'm like, you know what? I could just wait for the show. I want to wait for certain ones because from what I heard, the series is supposed to adapt most of the endings of the visual novel. So I'm curious to see if they actually do that. But with the title being Closed Epigraph, which is very interesting to me, that leads me to believe that yes, we are going to get a thing that's going to split into different parts or have different ending routes because Closed Epigraph is actually one of the ending routes in the game series, so it's like one of the routes you start taking. You go toward this thing called Closed Epigraph. But yeah, so for people that were not really surprised, Amadeus, of course, is Kurisu. You know, it's an AI program system that was based off of memories from people, and really the main one is supposed to be Kurisu. You know, it was so hard seeing that. It was so hard seeing Okabe's kind of reaction to it. You know, seeing him just go and look at that and realize this is the girl he loved. This is his friend, now in a form of an AI. You know, that's even talks the same, acts the same. It's definitely interesting, and that's gonna be definitely a big factor of the series. I know that already. But you know, there was just like a really nuance to how they really showed these emotions in the show today. I was just so taken aback by the facial expressions and stuff and the reactions that these characters had. The animation really was like so well done for this week's episode, and I think that this is gonna be a whole series. This whole series for Steins Gate Zero is gonna be amazing. Just I think it's gonna be probably one of the better things that White Fox has done. I feel like it. I don't know if maybe that's a little early. Maybe it's my love for Steins Gate, but I don't know off the top of my head. But that's what I feel. And you guys can comment down below what do you think. What you thought about this week's episode in terms of animation and all that. We also got the opening and closing songs, and oh my god, what fantastic songs. I was already told by a commenter last review, so it's episode 1 review, that the ending song, which was the opening song for the visual novel, which kind of sounds confusing, but that was just good. There was just like a holder for that episode specifically, and then they were gonna get different openings and closings for the series itself, which they're still done by the same girl. But the thing was is that it was so good. The ending song I actually liked more than the opening, to be honest. That's just my opinion. I love the epicness of the ending song. It was just visually and just the sound and everything was just on point, and it made this really impactful ending. Like, oh my god! But yeah, Steins Gate Zero is shaping up to be something that it's gonna be incredible. I feel. I know I'm hyping it up, folks. I really don't like to hype up a lot of shows, if you guys know me, because to me, hyping a show too much kind of can lure people away from it, and also then when it starts falling apart, or if it does fall apart, you're like, oh my god, here I was loving this show, and telling people to watch it, and then lo and behold, it did terrible things. It ended up becoming horrible. But right now, from what we have, and this is just my opinions and all this, and from what I've experienced with the games, we have a really solid adaptation. They're doing everything by the book from the visual novel in terms of, and they're making it a little further because they're taking like, for example, they're showing the routes to certain places, and like when Okabe went to go see the area Amadeus was being stored at, or at least one of the centers that she's being stored at, they showed the route to get there and all that. They didn't really do that in the game. They just showed like a brief image for it. But they're going a lot further, but they are still adhering to a lot of the stuff seen in the visual novel. Even the way that our professor talks to Okabe, where he's like Lintalo, because he can't say Rintaro, so it comes off as Linthal, like with an L instead, which is so stupid to me, but it's so funny. And his English is freaking hilarious. Like, he goes from speaking really strong English, where he speaks pretty well, like when he was talking to Okabe when they met in the room where Amadeus was. But then before, he was talking horrible English, and I'm like, damn. But then again, I think Okabe's intelligence when it comes to English is pretty bad. So I mean, his way he verbalizes things is pretty god awful, to say the least. So it's like it kind of is which one's worse. I still think the professor sometimes can beat him if they actually follow the story and the way they did it, but we'll see. Yeah, but can you tell I love this episode? Can you feel it? Because I feel like I've talked more about just the very basic stuff. I didn't really go into a recap of everything that happened, but you know, it was really just an episode meant to set up a lot of things. We set up our character Maho, which is the girl that looks like she's a midget, but she's actually 21 years old. Maho was Kurisu's friend. I won't go too much into detail with it because I don't want to really spoil anything. But their relationship was definitely very interesting to say the least. You know, Maho and Kurisu were very close at one point, and that's why it's hard for her to even talk about it. If you know, she started crying when she was talking to Rentaro about the whole thing. But interestingly enough, you know, it's where her character, you can already tell, gets along with Kurisu in the sense that you see it from Amadeus, where they talk like they're sisters almost. And that's something that's going to be definitely brought back multiple times in the course of the series. But yeah, it was just meant to really set that up. We finally got Amadeus. We understand what Amadeus is, and we see that, you know, Rentaro is going to become the tester for Amadeus, one of the testers at least, and he has it on a smartphone now that he can call her up anytime. And in the visual novel, that played a big part in terms of how to choose different routes. Was answering the phone calls with Kurisu when she called up Okabe. And, you know, you can either ignore her sometimes, or you can choose to just talk to her at a certain specific scene. And that, in turn, would also cause the endings to change dramatically sometimes. So it's very interesting how they're going to play that out, too. I'm very curious. Probably episode 4, I would say. Maybe 4 or 5 will be where we can see if the series will start splitting into different routes. Because that's where I think we'll start getting the actual moments of all that. And the reason I say that also is because it seems like already we're starting to get through a decent amount of the visual novel already, so that's gonna be pretty curious. But I'm excited. I am so freaking excited. Like, oh my god, I'm just hoping this series does the visual novel justice, because I love the visual novel, and I'm so terrified that this doesn't do it. But I have faith. I have faith. I know this series will be good. What are you guys thinking, though, so far about Steins Gate Zero from just episode 2 and even episode 1 if you didn't talk about it yet with me? I would love to hear from you guys in the comments below, as always. I will talk to you guys later. In terms of other reviews today, I might have another one. I don't remember off the top of my head. If I do, expect it out probably later tonight. But I'll talk to you guys then. God bless you all. Have a great, blessed day, everyone. Bye, everyone.